everyone, it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com. Thanks for stopping by today. Well, today I have a very cute little project and it's very quick, but it's made to use up some of your paper stash because each of these are made with a 6 by 12 inch piece of paper. And it's a really cute little tree pouch and it goes very quickly. As you can see, it kind of poofs out on the side to hold what it's got in there. And what's in here are 2 Ghirardelli chocolates, but think anything flat, like perhaps some of the Halloween candy, the little packets of M&Ms and stuff that are coming out now. Isn't this adorable? And I said each of these takes 6 inches by 12 inches, so 2 of them will take up a piece of 12 by 12 inch paper. But you can make them looking elegant as well. Here's a really pretty one. I'm trying not to glare you with the foil. Now, one of the things I did want to mention why I had this one down there, and I don't know if you can see it or not, maybe better on the back, is that when I put my prototypes together, I actually stapled the bottom. I had 4 staples across the bottom. And for the cardstock one, it's not as evident. So you could still do that for the cardstock one. But if you're using a foil, you really can see the staple shapes coming through. So you may want to just glue the bottoms if you're using a specialty foil. But I think they turned out very adorable and they'd be very sweet for gifting some presents. So let me show you how I did them. So what you need for this project is a 6 by 12 inch piece of paper. And if there's a pattern on it, you want the 6 inches to be tall and the 12 inches to be wide. You will need 2 pieces of cardstock. And I like contrasting cardstock, so mine are all contrasting so you can see the edge of the top and the bottom of the pouch. And this is 1.5 inches by 4 inches, or just over 4 inches if you can spare that, just over 4 inches, because then you can trim off the excess. And you need 2 of those, one for the top and one for the bottom. And then you just need whatever embellishments that you want, like for your tag or your sentiments. All right, so let's go ahead and score those. With your 12 inch side up, score it at 4 inches, 4 7/8, 5 3/4, 9 3/4, 10 5/8, and 11.5. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and score our cardstock for the top and the bottom. These are 1 1/2 inches by 4 about. And we're going to score it lengthwise down the middle at 3/4 of an inch. All right, so the way we're going to fold these is we have, it's hard to see on your side. Let's see if we can see this one. There's 3 sets of score lines and 3 sets of score lines. Those are the folds on the side that will make it accordion fold. So on 2 outside of the 3 sets, we're actually going to fold it in a mountain fold. So do the 2 outside ones first. And then what we're going to do is with that outside one and this outside one, bring the 2 folds together to match it up. And go ahead and burnish it down. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the side. All right, so we'll do the same for the other one. There's 1, 2, 3 score lines on the 2 outside ones. Go ahead and fold those in a mountain fold. And then putting the one fold down, bring the other fold to it. I find by doing this way, it actually lines up the edges a little better. If I tried to just fold the middle one as it was, it actually got me a little bit off. So, all right, this is what we have. All right, can we see that? Hopefully. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to glue this to that side right there. And you want something strong. So I'm actually going to use wet glue. And I'm going to risk on camera getting my fingers all through it. All right, so holding this one down, we're just going to meet this side over to it. All right, we'll go ahead and put that down. And I'm going to just press the glue out and give it a minute to make sure that it's dry and stuck. Okay, now I do have a directional pattern, so my direction will go up, and my seam, which is right there, will go into the back. All right, so right now is where you could actually just take it and go and staple right across it. If you don't want to staple before you folded it, you can actually put a piece of tape on the inside, right on the edge. Or what I'm going to do actually is just run a little bit of glue right along the edge on both sides. And that will stick to both of the parts where it folds in as well as both sides. And we're going to hold that down for just a minute. I just want to hold that there till it sticks, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put a block on it while we do our next part, so you don't have to wait for me. All right, so let's go ahead and fold these and burnish them. And this is for the top and the bottom. All right, I think we're dry enough now. So what we're going to do is to glue the bottom part on. So we're going to put glue on it and just sandwich it around the bottom. All right, so take this, put it almost up to the score line, and just sandwich it on. And again, we're just going to throw something on there, make sure it's centered and down to that fold line. And we're just going to let it dry for a minute. All right, so now let's go ahead and do the top. Now, when we do the top, we only want to do the back on the top. And before we do this, if you're going to punch holes all the way through and you have a crocodile, that will make it all the way through all these layers of cardstock. If not, however, you might want to go piece by piece. So what you would do is go ahead and set that down, and I would measure 3/4 of an inch from each side and probably about 3/8 of an inch down, and make a mark on both sides. And then I would punch through the first 2 layers, and then I would put them together and punch through the next 2 layers. Then I would put the bottom on, the back on, and then punch through the back layer, and then put the front down, because just do it step by step if you need to. You know, you certainly can buy them at the Michaels and the Hobby Lobbies or the Joann Fabrics and use a coupon on it. If you don't have that option, I will link one below through Amazon. All right, but what we're going to do is we're going to, again, line this back up, and only our back has glue on it, and we stopped about 1/8 of an inch short of that score line. So I'm going to center it there, and I'm going to put this over to make sure it folds nicely, but as I said, I'm just quite shy, I'm just a little shy of that score line. Okay, let me go ahead and put that on so it will stick for a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. And I'm going to hold it over. We're just going to carefully trim off the excess. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this, and I'm just going to arbitrarily pick 4 inches on my mat. And then I'm going to use my white marker on the dark and go 3 inches over, and I'm going to put it right in the center of that. I'm sorry, not 3 inches, 3/4 of an inch over, and then put it right in the center so I know where I'm going. All right, and then I'm going to use my crocodile. As I said, I use this one a lot, and it really is a useful tool, especially when you're trying to push through a bunch of them. Okay, now I'm going to line up that dot through my window in the smaller one. Don't know if you can see that, but the dot's right through there. And it pushes through that very easily. Same with this one. All right, now because this is the more nautical one, actually I'm using the paper and some of the stamps from the Smooth Sailing Suite from Stampin' Up. I also went ahead and made my tag ahead of time. This tag shape is a stitch shape in the die set that goes with the stamp set. This is the thanks. All these came from there, the little ship steering wheel. Now what I'm going to do is, because this is a little bit more masculine one, I'm going to gift a couple of the Fold Your singles, and I get these at Walmart. Or you could put a couple Ghirardellis in there. All right, because this is nautical, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of twine. And because I want to thread it through without fraying, I'm just going to go ahead and put a piece of Scotch tape around the outside of it so I can thread it without it losing its cohesion. And this is an old trick, you just put a piece of tape around the outside of it, and kind of make that into a little bit of a needle that you can thread, so you're not worried about fraying it when you're trying to. As you see, I actually went back and made these a little bit bigger. First time I used the smallest setting on my crocodile, but I actually went back and used a bigger one so I could get this twine through. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and thread my tag through. All right. And because the ends tend to fray a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and tie a knot in the end of each one where I want it. And that will keep it looking neat and go along with the nautical theme. So I think that is just a very sweet little pouch, and as I said, if you're trying to use up your paper stash, this little pouch will take a 6 by 12 inch piece of paper. Let me bring my others back in, see if I can fit them in there. So it makes a very quick and cute treat pouch, and you can decorate it for many different occasions, and it will actually use up some of your paper stash if you're trying to use up some of your 12 by 12 papers, because 2 of these will come from one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. But once you get this technique down, you can actually make them in different sizes. These were made by a 12 inch wide by 6 inch tall piece of paper, but this one was made by a 12 inch tall by 6 inch wide. So it was 6 by 12, but instead of scoring it with the width, I scored it at the length. And actually it's kind of the same. It will fit tall and skinny things like Twizzlers and pencils, paintbrushes, markers, candy sticks, or I even stuffed in 5 miniature candy canes in this one. You can see I have a little bit more of a winter theme on it. So I think this one turned out really sweet as well. And if you just want to go with one of your 6 by 6 paper pads, this one was made with a 6 by 6 paper. And it was scored in the same way as this bigger one. It just was half the size. So I'll put the measurements on my website if you want to get the measurements for scoring just a 6 inch wide piece at its length to create these two, and it's made the same way. Once you get the score lines down, it's created the same way as the bigger pouches. But you can even maneuver the sizes to get to what you need to. So I hope you enjoyed the project today and give it a try. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to be notified of new videos as they're posted. For more information on this project and other projects, and for the measurements of my 2 skinnier ones, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!